man stands at the head of a long dining table surrounded by polished silver, crystal glasses, and faces trained not to react too quickly. The room is full, yet unnaturally quiet. Every person present understands the rules of such rooms. You listen, you wait, you do not ask questions unless invited. His voice does not shake, his hands do not tremble. He announces that his daughter no longer belongs to him, not to a hospital, not to a physician, not to a caretaker. He places her under the complete authority of an enslaved man. No one in the room asks what debt this decision is paying. No one asks what kind of man would use his own child as collateral. The silence that follows is immediate and total. Conversations die mid-breath. Forks remain untouched. Eyes lower, not in respect but in instinctive self-protection. Everyone understands one thing at once. This is not care, this is payment. What no one understands yet is how much this payment will cost. Before the year ends, the house will burn. The land surrounding Cypress Grove breathes heat. The air presses down with the weight of stagnant water, rot and decay. Dark rivers slide slowly through the low country, reflecting Spanish moss that hangs from oak branches like funeral cloth. Rice fields stretch outward for miles, flooded and shimmering under the sun. Hundreds of enslaved people move through the water from dawn until dusk, bent forward, silent, their bodies trained through repetition and consequence. They do not look up, they do not stop, they do not speak unless spoken to. Nothing here exists by accident. Everything on this land is designed to keep people quiet. Cypress Grove covers 800 acres, enough to generate wealth, not enough to command fear. Its owner understands the difference. He measures himself constantly against men who own more land, more bodies, more silence. Men whose names open doors without knocking, men whose influence never needs to announce itself. Silas Ruttled wants what they have. His wife died decades earlier, leaving him a daughter and no witnesses. He raised the child alone, shaping her world with tutors, locked doors and rigid schedules. He taught her posture before honesty, discipline before curiosity, silence before memory. By the time she reaches adulthood, her body carries the consequences of years spent being corrected. Her weight increases, her hands shake, her speech slurs. Doctors arrive, examine her, and leave behind new prescriptions. They name conditions, they adjust dosages, they congratulate her father on his patience. They never ask what she remembers. Her episodes grow worse over time. She screams during fits. She throws objects. Once she attacks her father with a letter opener, leaving a scar across his hand that he never explains. The county whispers with polite sympathy, "Poor Silas Ruttled, burdened with a mad daughter. What a tragedy." No one asks why her episodes worsen whenever certain men visit the house at night. The people who benefit most from her silence are the first to insist she is unstable. None of them know what she saw when she was 12. None of them know that what they call madness is memory held under pressure. The letter arrives by private courier, sealed with red wax. Silas recognizes the symbol instantly. 13 men, bound by ritual, bound by silence, bound by mutual guilt. They meet in rooms where nothing is written down and nothing is forgiven, where every act is shared so no one can speak without destroying himself. They believe the land grows stronger through sacrifice, that power feeds on submission, that dominance must be reinforced or it decays. Silas has stood among them for years. He learned early that silence is not absence, it is currency. The letter does not threaten him, it informs him. A debt stands unpaid, an amount too large to hide, too large to negotiate. The solution is simple. He must offer something of unquestionable value. Not land, not money, his daughter. For 1 full year, she will be placed entirely under the authority of an enslaved man. Her day, her movement, her treatment, her will. The arrangement will be public, explained as an extreme medical measure, defended as necessity. The humiliation will be complete. Silas does not write back immediately. He sits alone in his study, listening to the house settle around him. He thinks about the men who have disappointed the brethren before, about the doors the brethren have opened for him, the favors quietly granted, the problems quietly erased. Society has trained him well. Before dawn, he sends his acceptance. A second letter arrives days later. A name, an age, a brief description. Ezekiel Cross, 33 years old, recently purchased, skilled in carpentry and herbal medicine, quiet, obedient. What the letter does not say is that he was selected deliberately, that his placement at Cypress Grove is not an accident, that someone noticed the way he listened more than he spoke. When Ezekiel arrives, he does not lower his eyes. That alone unsettles Silas. The transaction is completed quickly. Ezekiel is shown to a small cabin near the main house, separate from the other quarters. His duties are explained, his consequences made clear. When the door closes behind him, Ezekiel allows his shoulders to relax for the first time. From inside his shirt he removes a folded piece of paper. 3 names, written in a child's uneven hand. Sarah, Benjamin, Ruth, his wife, his son, his daughter, sold away years earlier, worked to death on a plantation in Alabama. Not because Silas needed the money, because Silas wanted to prove something. Ezekiel has spent years moving south intentionally, getting sold from plantation to plantation, listening, learning names and habits, learning who never faces consequences. He did not come to survive the year, he came to finish something. Catherine's room on the second floor is dark and stale. Heavy curtains block the light. The smell of old medicine lingers in the air, sweet and metallic. The walls feel closer than they should. She does not want another doctor. She does not want another correction. She recognizes punishment when it enters the room. Her anger is real. Her confusion is an act perfected through repetition. She learned early that clarity invites restraint. Ezekiel opens the curtains. Light floods the room. She recoils, shielding her eyes, heart racing. No one has done this in years. He does not argue. He does not command. He questions the medicine, names the poison. For the first time in years, silence settles without fear. Her hands still, her breathing evens, her eyes focus. He does not offer rescue. He offers alignment. He speaks of control, of memory, of what happens when truth is treated like an illness. He tells her he wants her father to suffer, not through pain, through exposure. She understands immediately. When she speaks of death, her voice is steady. When she admits to killing before, it is without apology. She is not fragile. She is contained. They agree without ceremony. The reduction of medicine is brutal. Fever, shaking, nights where time loses shape. Ezekiel stays with her through it, speaking softly, anchoring her to the present. When clarity returns, strength follows. Movement comes slowly, steps from the bed to the door, from the door to the hallway. Each small victory reclaimed deliberately. They talk during recovery. Quiet conversations filled with things neither has ever been allowed to say out loud. She tells him about the cellar, about what she saw at 12, about the men standing in a circle, calm and deliberate, about the way adults insisted afterward that she had imagined it. He tells her about the day his family was torn apart, about the smile Silas wore while doing it. They do not interrupt each other. They do not soften the truth. 41 people gather in the dining room. Judges, bankers, clergy, their wives and children. The food is abundant, the conversation restrained. Catherine sits beside her father, composed, eating sparingly, saying nothing unnecessary. When Silas stands, the room tightens. He names Ezekiel, names authority. Confusion spreads across faces trained to conceal reaction. Objections are raised carefully. Silas shuts them down. Catherine agrees. The performance is flawless. Only Ezekiel notices her hands beneath the table. White knuckles, controlled breathing. She is not submitting. She is waiting. Plans are whispered in the weeks that follow. Records exist. A ledger, hidden, protected. Equal guilt recorded in ink. When the house empties, they descend. The cellar smells of damp earth and old smoke. The stairs creak beneath careful steps. The stairs are not just wood. They are a boundary. The altar sits at the center. The hidden chamber opens. The ledger rests there, heavy and absolute. Names, dates, victims reduced to lines. Consumption described without emotion. Ezekiel finds his family. 3 lines. That is all. They copy methodically, knowing they are stealing something the brethren believe no one can ever touch. They are too focused to hear footsteps. Light floods the chamber. Silas has returned. They are locked together. Catherine hides the copied pages. She understands leverage. The brethren gather in robes and candlelight. Silas offers a choice. Complicity for survival, membership without equality, resources in exchange for silence. Another man named, another life offered. Ezekiel listens. Catherine refuses. He accepts. On one condition, she leaves alive. Silas agrees. Catherine is taken away before dawn. No goodbyes, only understanding. Ezekiel remains under watch. Days pass, then weeks. He learns routines, measures distances, observes guards and habits. Silas visits him the night before initiation. He speaks of power and order, of how the world truly works. He warns Ezekiel that failure will cost more than his own life. Ezekiel listens. Alone again, he studies the folded paper with 3 names. The cellar fills once more. The ritual begins. A young woman is brought forward, restrained and trembling. The knife is offered. Ezekiel takes it. He does not turn toward the altar. He moves. The blade lands before anyone can react. Darkness swallows light. Chains break. Someone runs. Above them the house answers. Catherine has returned. She does not come alone. The cellar floods with people who have waited their entire lives for this moment. Power collapses. Silas reaches for his daughter. She does not hesitate. When Ezekiel faces him, there are no speeches left. Only consequence. They burn everything. The ledger, the altar, the house. Smoke rises over Cypress Grove as morning breaks. The story is prepared. An accident. By daylight, nothing remains but ash. They walk away in opposite directions. Years pass. Land changes hands. Buildings rise and fall. Names are praised, then forgotten. Stories persist where records do not. Bones surface. Journals vanish. Whispers remain. Silence does not erase what was done. It only hides it. What survived was not the truth, but the decision to remember it.